Good morning, class. I hope all of y'all are ready for today's class. All of y'all are ready? Okay, very good. So, today we are going to begin by guessing the topic. Let's guess what topic we are going to do today. Okay, question plus tag gives you question plus tag is question tag. Very good. That's what we'll be seeing today. In today's class, we will look at question tags. Now, what is a question tag? A question tag is a short question at the end of a statement. Okay, I will give you an example. Now, the statement is I like dogs. He likes dogs. Okay, he likes dogs. So, now the question tag is a short question at the end of a statement. The statement is he likes dogs. Now the question tag here will be he likes dogs, doesn't he? Now that word doesn't he is what? A short question at the end of a statement. Okay, now we look at two examples. Now look at the picture and tell me what you see. In the first picture, the child is asking for ice cream and the parents are telling the child, you want ice cream, don't you? Okay, now you want ice cream is a statement. Don't you will be what? The question tag. Don't you is the question tag. Okay, now look at the second picture. The father is looking at the child and saying, you have a test, don't you? He's looking angrily, not angrily, he's looking with concern, folding his hands and saying, you have a test, don't you? Now, you have a test is a statement. Don't you is a question tag. Now, let's look at how we form question tags. So, a question tag is formed by having a statement plus N''T, which is also called contractions. We will look at that in the next slide. Statement plus contractions or int plus pronouns. Okay, so now what are these contractions? Contractions, why is it called contractions? Because see, the word is actually is not, do not, will not. So now when you make it into contractions, it means that you are making it small. Okay, so is not, which is two words, will be changed to isn't. It's all become into one word now. Okay, so that is why it's called contractions. And can you see here you have N''T. So you have all these words. Wouldn't, haven't, won't. So are not will become aren't. Could not will become couldn't. Can not will become can't. Had not will become hadn't. Okay, so you have your statement, which is I like dogs. For example, I like dogs. He likes dogs. Then your contraction will be doesn't, and your pronoun will be he. So whatever it starts with, he likes dogs. So it will be doesn't he. She likes cats. Doesn't she? Okay. They like puppies. Then it will become don't they. Okay, whatever you're starting, whatever pronoun you start with, you will end with the same, mostly the same pronoun. Okay, so what are these pronouns? I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and they. Okay, now the next we will look at few examples. Now what does the rule say? Statement plus contractions, or otherwise called, or like you can otherwise say int, N''T plus a pronoun. So you are a student is a statement. Aren't is the word which is a contraction, and you, which is a pronoun. Okay, so you are a student that is the statement plus the word with N apostrophe T, which is aunt, plus the pronoun you. Next example, I can swim. So I can swim is a statement plus you have can't, which is the word with the N apostrophe T. And finally you have the pronoun I. Okay, so how will you form it? Statement, N apostrophe T word plus I. Okay, now let's look at few rules. The first rule is, if you have a positive statement, it will be a negative question tag. Positive statement, negative question tag. She is a doctor. Then the negative question tag will be, isn't she? The second one, the books are funny. This is a positive statement. So your question tag will be negative. Aren't they? Okay. We should obey our elders. Shouldn't we? Now, if you have a negative statement, you will have a positive question tag. Negative statement, positive question tag. Now let's look at few examples. We don't have enough time. That is a negative statement. Now the question tag will be positive. Do we? Okay. Second one, children shouldn't watch much TV. Too much TV. So that is a negative question tag. Now your negative statement. Now your question tag will be, should they? Children shouldn't watch much TV. Too much TV is the statement. Your question tag will be positive, because when you have a negative statement, you will have a positive question tag. Next one, Sam hadn't come here before. Had he? Because negative, positive. Negative statement, positive question tag. Next rule, if your statement is in the simple present tense, you will have the words don't and doesn't. Okay, now simple present tense means what? It means something that is happening now. I teach you. Don't I? I'm using the word don't because I used the word the simple present tense. You speak English, which means you speak it now. So it is simple present tense. So you speak English, don't you? Manish likes tennis, doesn't he? He lives in India, doesn't he? Samson hates cooking, doesn't he? Okay, one more thing to keep in mind is, when you have singular, it will be don't. When you have plural, it will be doesn't. Like, see, I like chocolates, don't I? You like puppies, don't you? Okay, now when it is plural, they like ice cream. Okay, they like ice cream. So it will be don't they? Okay, they like ice cream, don't they? So he lives in India, doesn't he? Samson hates cooking, doesn't he? So plural, lives. So it will be doesn't. Okay. Now the next one. If your statement is in the simple past tense, past means it already happened. So you spoke English, didn't you? Manish liked tennis, didn't he? He lived, which means he finished living, in India, didn't he? Samson hated cooking. That was long back, before. So Samson hated cooking, didn't he? Okay, now we will look at few special cases. Okay, now what do we mean by special cases? If it has the word barely, scarcely, seldom, no, nobody, rarely, neither, nothing. Okay, now when all these words are there in a statement, in the first statement, it will become like a negative statement. For example, he hardly works. Now can you see this word hardly? Now this word hardly, I am putting it in a sentence. So he hardly works. Now because now when this word hardly is there, the sentence becomes negative. Okay, when all these words, barely, hardly, scarcely, all come, when you use these words, it will be treated as a negative statement. Now when you have negative statement, what question tags will you have? Positive. So she rarely comes late. So rarely will be taken, so this part of the sentence will be taken as a negative statement. So the question tag will be positive. So she rarely comes late. Does she? They seldom speak. Do they? Okay. Little more examples are there. She is nobody's friend. She is nobody's friend. Okay, so because it is a negative there, negative statement. Why? Because of that word nobody. So then it will be a positive question tag. Next one. He told nothing. Did he? So then negative statement, positive question tag. Then he barely means what? Little. Like you nibble little and eat. He barely eats vegetables. So because of that word barely, the whole statement becomes a positive or a negative statement? Very good. It becomes a negative statement. Okay. So because it's a negative statement, your question tag will be positive. So he barely eats vegetables. Does he? Okay. She barely eats fruits. Does she? Okay. Understood? So this is what we learnt in today's class. We learnt what are question tags. Okay. Question tags are what? Let's have a small recap. Question tags are short questions at the end of a statement, like he likes dogs. Doesn't he? Now when the statement is positive, your question tag will be negative, and when your statement is negative, your question tag will be positive. Okay, so that's the second rule we learnt. Then if it is in the simple present tense, that means something that is happening now. If it is in the simple present tense, you will use don't and doesn't. So he likes cooking. Okay, simple present tense. He likes cooking. Doesn't he? Okay, he likes cooking. Doesn't he? She speaks English. Doesn't she? He writes neatly. Doesn't he? All these things are happening now. Simple present tense. So that's why you will use the doesn't or don't. Okay. Now if you have if your sentence is in the simple past tense, she spoke English. Doesn't she? Okay. She spoke English. Didn't she? Suppose if it is in the simple past tense. Okay. Suppose if it is in the simple past tense, you will use didn't. Manish liked tennis. Didn't he? He lived in India. Didn't he? Okay. And finally, what did we learn? Finally, we learnt these special cases. If you have words like barely, hardly, scarcely, seldom, all these words, if it is in your statement, it will act like as if that statement is a negative statement. Okay. Now because it is a negative statement, your question tag will be a positive question tag. He hardly works. Does he? She rarely comes late. Does she? Okay, like that. Okay, so thank you.